Hello and thank you for joining us for this week's weekly challenge. I'm Amy from Natural Balance Therapy, and each week I'll be bringing you a new challenge that will help you dive deeper into your own healing through awareness and myofascial self-care concepts. So if you're ready to reclaim your life, take charge, and find freedom in your body from years of pain, let's get started. Last week, your challenge was all about unleashing your inner child, having fun and bringing play into your day. How did you do with this? Was this something that was easy for you to do, or was it hard? I would love for you to share your experiences in the comments below. So as we enter a new week, it's time for your new challenge. And if you know anything about myofascial release, you've heard us say where your symptoms are not necessarily where the cause is coming from. Now, this is a difficult concept for many people to grasp. They just want those symptoms to go away. So they only focus their treatment in that one particular area. For example, we find a lot of people that come in, they have a lot of tension and knots up in these upper traps in this upper back area. So what's the first thing that we do when we feel tension in there? We start to want to rub it, or we tend to stretch it, because we just want those symptoms and that tension to alleviate. But unfortunately, you're doing this all the time. The symptoms continue. When we don't really realize that something else is contributing and causing this to happen. So for many of us that have a lot of tension up and through here, we actually have a lot of tightness in the front. A lot of our tasks, we sit a lot throughout the day. We computer, we're on phones, texting, and doing a lot of things that are forward. So a lot of these structures in the front part of our body start to shorten. They start to tighten down. And when this happens, it almost causes us to feel like we're being pulled down and forward. So many of us come into the clinic and they're like, I just want my posture to be better. I just want to sit up straight. But they can't because of this pulling down of pressure. So when we are pulled down and forward, what happens to these muscles is they're overworking. They're working harder than they've ever had to before, because they're supporting that head and neck that's now starting to come forward. That's a lot of weight. The more that goes forward, the more that these have to tighten and work to try to support that head. So without addressing these front restrictions, every time that you go about your day, those muscles are just going to continue to overwork. They're going to knot up. They're going to be tense. So this week, your challenge is to do the opposite of what you think and try the opposite of what you've done in the past. So anytime before starting any of these techniques, what I'm going to encourage you to do is do a body scan. Now, you learned this in one of your previous challenges. Body scan is going to give us kind of a baseline of information. And then I want you to choose a self-care technique that's appropriate. And then when you're done with it, come back and redo your body scan and start to observe maybe how the body responded and what changed. This is how you really start to learn what is working in those particular situations in your body and what's making a change. Now, when we're talking about self-care of the opposite, so some ideas would be, if you are always treating the right side, try something on the left. Try something that you've done before on the left side. If you have pain in the back, try opening up and treating the front. If you have pain in the front, try opening up and treating something in the back. It may be with a tool, it may be a myofascial stretch, whatever feels appropriate to you. Now, I love to share a story of a previous client. He was coming in for some hip pain. And we taught him a lot of self-care, and he was very diligent and did a lot of self-care. And every time he'd come in, he'd say, my pain is still continuing. And I'd ask him, what are you doing for self-care? He goes, well, I'm putting the ball right at that area. And every time I'd say to him, I'd explain this concept of where the symptoms are, not necessarily where the cause is coming from. I'm encouraging you, treat the left side. 6 months went by, and he continued to do the same thing of treating only the right side. And then one day, he came in 6 months later, and he says to me, Amy, I finally listened, and I treated the left side. Oh my gosh, it made a world of difference with my symptoms. So don't wait 6 months, you guys. Let's try to start now of doing the opposite and seeing what impact it makes on the body. When you really start feeling these connections and finding these other areas that are contributing to your pain, and now you start to get relief, it makes a world of difference. This is where the success in this work is. So this week, you're going to have to be open to trying something new. And I encourage you to enter this challenge merely as an observer, noticing maybe things that you didn't expect to happen, or you didn't expect to feel. Maybe you've always had symptoms over here, but you didn't realize how tight that left side is when you get on a tool or when you stretch it. And also observe how the body's responding through those body scans. Now again, as the week goes on, we're going to be checking in and we're going to be finding out how you're doing. So we encourage, if you have any questions or are struggling with anything, or share your successes in the comments below. I can't wait to hear the differences that this makes for you. It's made a world of difference in my own self-care as well as hundreds of clients that we have treated. Each Sunday, we're going to be bringing you your next challenge. But for now, I want you to focus on trying the opposite of what you think. Thank you so much for watching and participating in our weekly challenges. If you want more information and to be notified on additional tips, as well as when our weekly challenges are coming out, make sure you subscribe to keep following along in our channel. Thank you.